Younger monk is going to his master to like learn to kind of progress with his studies, and this young monk isn't really getting anywhere with it. He's sort of saying to his master, "Look, I can't get any further with this." And the master says, "Yeah, but like, actually, you're so full of yourself and you feel like you know everything that you're not getting anywhere. You've got to empty the cup. You're overflowing because you've kind of you feel like you've got that much knowledge, but actually you need to either let go of things or get yourself a bigger cup, essentially, because you've got more and more and more to learn." And I think that is something that probably helps me on a daily basis. It's like, yeah, okay, I don't know things. Okay, let's make room for knowing the things. So my name is Jenny Swindells. I'm an artist and filmmaker. But David Lynch was one of my favourite filmmakers and artists, and his practice was a lot to do with allowing yourself to be intuitively guided towards ideas. As you meditate, kind of ideas come to you, and you kind of work out that each idea, some kind of gel with the initial idea and then some don't, but the more that gel together, the bigger thing that you're making, and that starts becoming and shaping into a project. And I suppose that's where the meditation itself for me comes in handy. But in terms of Zen, I think it is that, but it's also being able to recognize that you need to clear stuff out and be less cluttered in your thinking. So it is that, and you do gather the ideas, but then once you've got all the ideas, you have to kind of pick through it and work out these don't work and these do. And I think a lot of artists they forget to get rid of the things that aren't going to work, then they won't focus on the things that do work, and that's where you get like a clearer, more kind of precise, minimal, but no less impactful piece of work. So that's kind of where the Zen comes in afterwards. It's like the clarity of it, and the fact that you can throw things away, and that they're not permanent ideas. You're not stuck with them. They can go away. Yourself 20 minutes a day, that's your own space, and that's yours, and it's not anyone else's, it's just yours. And you've got that space to kind of, you can either do quite a deep dive meditation, or you could do something a bit more shallow, but whatever it is, you're just allowing that space for you. And I think that's why I like to have it, particularly if I'm very, very busy, if I'm doing a lot of work, just allowing myself that time to maybe I've kind of been working on something and it's really, really awkward and I don't know where I'm going with it, but then spending 20 minutes meditating, trying to switch off from it. Within that meditation, I might come up with the missing idea that was making me stuck with the problem, that I've been grappling with that day. So it's useful in terms of work, but it's useful in terms of just allowing your body to relax, And I like kind of how particularly with Japanese storytelling, though I'm pretty certain it might be kind of an Asian idea rather than a Western idea, where it's just kind of matter of fact. You kind of, I don't know whether this is sort of something that other people within Japan necessarily think about. Maybe it's more from a Westerner looking at it. But the fact that, even when you go to Japan and you're going to shrines and then there's kitsune or inari everywhere, and it's like, well, we wouldn't necessarily have like a whole church dedicated to a spiritual fox, for example. And I really like that. I think it might be more of it seems quite a natural thing, or kind of nature-based kind of ideas. There's so much in Western culture that's trying to do away with nature, and like, oh no, you can't have that, it's too dirty. Just like, you can't, we have to have it all clean and sanitized in this particular version of the way things are. Whereas but you can't have that unless you embrace the earthiness of things and the otherness of things. And I think it's important to, I'm not saying that I kind of live in a fantasy world, although that would be nice, but I think I appreciate things in this world if I can kind of understand that it's not all linear. It's a bit more other than it really should, how people should behave. It should be like understanding that there's something other.
you.